Today we're going to talk about one of my favourite Salomon shoes. But before we get that underway, please like, subscribe and share, because you never know who these videos might help. So here we have the Salomon Genisis non-S-Lab. I have the S-Lab version, not much difference to be fair, apart from where you stow away like the quick lace system and also the gaiter. I actually think this is a better shoe, and Salomon sometimes do this. They bring out an S-Lab version, then bring out a non-S-Lab version, and actually the non-S-Lab version is better. But also what's great about that is it is cheaper. So there's mixed reviews on this heel stack and forefoot, but it's roughly about 33 in the heel and about 25 here. So roughly an 8 to 9 mil drop, which is definitely something you do notice in a shoe like this. 4 mil lugs, really good outsole, really enjoy this outsole. Not that great in the wet, but it is a very durable outsole. I'd say width is pretty normal, but actually generous for your usual Salomon, which is a good thing because they do make some really good shoes, but I always do find they're just a little bit too narrow for someone like myself who's going to be a little bit heavier, but also have wider feet, and that's just not ideal. So let's get to the main bulk and let's talk about the shoe. Fantastic shoe. I don't wear it as much as I used to. You definitely could race in this shoe, and it's a great training shoe. My only ever concern that I've ever had with this and the S-Lab for me is just the forefoot stack. It's just a little bit too thin for me. So there, obviously where I'm a little bit heavier, and I typically am a bit of a forefoot runner, I just need a bit more of a stack here. I just need a little bit more cushion. And also where this has got that like 8 to 9 mil drop, obviously you think about your foot, it's going to be tilting down anyway. So you're just going to put more pressure through the balls of your foot, which is obviously not always going to be that good. But it is a fantastic shoe. The quick lace system, yeah, not too bothered about that. I think that's actually okay. I've always enjoyed that. I've always found that very easy to use. The good thing about the quick lace system is also like when it's cold, you don't have to faff around with laces and actually your laces flopping all over the place, which can be annoying. With this, you just retighten it and it's good to go. But one of the key things for this shoe, and obviously it's a brand that obviously is tied closely to Salomon, is the Matryx upper. For me, this Matryx upper is one of the best uppers that's around. And it's something I'd love to see in more shoes. Drains really well. And yeah, it just feels like it's like a real nice sock fit. But what you've got here, as opposed to say the S-Lab version, is you've got the sock fit here, which is really good. But then you've got a really good sort of heel support here. Because sometimes when we wear shoes like, let's say, the Sportiva Prodigio Pro or the Salomon Genisis S-Lab, you've got the whole sock feeling around your whole foot. And sometimes it just doesn't feel that stable. Whereas with this shoe, you've got the nice light upper. And then you've got a real good heel collar there to protect you as well. So I actually think, even though it's a lot cheaper, I saw this for £80, this shoe today online. I actually think this shoe is better than the S-Lab version for me. Great thing about the Genesis S-Lab version is obviously for me just the sock. Nothing gets in. Now, with the Matryx upper, some people don't like it because it lets like a lot of dirt in, but for me, I don't mind that compromise, to be fair. I'm always aware that your feet are always going to get wet or they're always going to get dusty and dirty. And that's just part of trail running. But yeah, I do think this is a great shoe. I've put a lot of miles in this. And one of my favourite things about this shoe as well is the outsole. It lasts a long time. You can see here I've worn down that side there, obviously, where I'm striking on the outside of my foot. But the rest is really good. Now, a slight thing that's not that great about the outsole is just it's not the best in the wet, especially on wet rock, which it isn't that great. But I think sometimes with these shoes, you know, they're just for specific terrains, whereas this is a really good everyday trainer. Would be a racing shoe for some, but over technical ground, I imagine people would choose a bit of a different shoe. It's, as always, it's personal preference. But yeah, I do think this is a really good shoe. I think it's really cost effective. I think it's a shoe that can do a bit of everything as well. Like if you don't have many shoes in your armory, this is a shoe that you could use as an everyday trainer. But also, You could use this on race days if you really needed to. Really nice and soft, and that's really good for a runner like me. Really good midsole, still got a nice bit of pop to it as well. But for me, the biggest issue yet again is that forefoot. And where it's soft in the forefoot, it is a sort of shoe that if you run over roots or stones, you will feel that a little bit. So it doesn't have great underfoot protection. But I think for the right person, this is still a really, really good shoe. So yeah, I think worth the money. Great shoe to buy. Everyday shoe. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Salomon Genisis non-S-Lab shoe. Really rate it. And it's for a good price. So yeah, if you found that video helpful, please like, subscribe and share.